Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. You spoke earlier in the khutbah about Khilafat, but the new generation now, they have no idea what is this, and there seems like they think this is just history, something that happened 100 years ago, and that's it. I mean, there's nothing to worry about it, or to think even about it.
Yes.
So what can we do for them to make them
Be
understand?
with them, talk to them. If they want to talk to you, if they want to listen, we are not responsible for everything. But we are responsible for those who are around us and they're asking. Then we say, we don't preach to them. There's no preaching in Islam. Muslims they have Christian envy. Christians, they have missionaries, evangelists. So Muslims, they say, we are da'wah. We must do da'wah. We're da'i. Then they go door by door knocking on people's door, bothering them, just like the Christian missionaries do. That is not the way. It is forbidden to do that. So, but if they ask, you speak. Yeah.
Don't ask. They're not really interested to ask these questions.
No, which is why Tariqat is more difficult, because this is Tariqat knowledge now. It goes into Sharia and other things, yes, but it's Tariqat knowledge now, because only Tariqats are holding on to this. Not all Tariqats also. Most Tariqats don't hold on to this. That's why it is more difficult, because first, look to the mission of the Holy Prophet ﷺ. He spent 40 years preparing them for Islam. Don't be like Wahhabi now to say that before he was non-Muslim, and then angel came and then he became Muslim. Hasha. Sayyidina al-Awwalil Akhirin is saying he became Muslim when the angel came. So many are saying this. But he spent 40 years, yes, being with the people before he even say, La ilaha illallah. This is why it's difficult. Because he didn't just, when the order is given to him, when he was young, knowing, and he start preaching to them. He spent time with them. So that is a sunnah that we have to do. We have to spend time with people. Not even talking about Islam maybe, not even talking about Khilafat maybe. Help them, be their friends, be around them. You understand? Be friendly with them. Make them to trust you, make them to love you. So easy to just preach, right? But it's very difficult now to make people to love you. Once you do that, then you may speak. And perhaps they will listen. That is true to outside people, to gain their trust before you speak. It's true here in Tariqat. Just because you are here now, you cannot just tell people. You have to have a relationship with people. You have to make them to trust you. You have to love them. You have to care for them. Then that time you may speak something. Listen, this is not correct. Or this is very good you're doing. We don't really have that anymore. Because Muslims, there are no Jamaats anymore. Now, especially in the West, here, let's talk about here first. This system does not support, let's say, Islamic social, how you say? Islamic social networking, let's say. It does not support, the system doesn't support. What is Islamic social networking, or the structure of, like it is in so many Muslim countries? Usually you have Muslims living together, not only for that time, sometimes for generations, yes? In a village or even in a city, they stay together. What does it mean that they live next to each other? They are close, they are neighbors, they share each other's lives. They go to the same jami. The men see each other at least once a week, if not more. They spend time with each other. They open their doors to each other. They take care of each other's children. They cook for each other. They help each other. When someone is sick, they go to help. They are aware of each other. Sounds familiar, like the Dergah, that so many people they are running away from? Run away from Islam. Go to hell if you want. With that kind of a structure, which is Islamic, so many things can happen. That structure existed for thousands of years. That structure is not limited to just Muslims also. Non-Muslims also live like that. Until this age of Dajjal, almost 100 years ago, that all systems, they fell. They introduced new systems. Capitalism is finished. Because this kind of a community living is not based on earning a lot of money, buying cars, showing off to one another, going on vacations. It's not. That is Western. Eastern is not like that. It's not running after the dunya. You feel the taste in talking to each other, taking care of each other, being close to one another. So many Muslim countries, maybe they still have that, yes. But over here it's missing, yes? It's completely missing. Now over here you cannot. Muslims don't even live close to each other. And if they do, they fall into this American system. Individualism. Consumerism. They close the door, they mind their own business. They try to help a little bit, you cannot really do anything. The one doesn't know how to give, the one who's receiving, he doesn't know how to receive. This here in the Dergah, why it's working? It's working because there is a head. Our head is our Shaykh. There is a head. If there's no head, you cut off the head, man strong, 6 feet, 7 feet tall, he cannot do nothing. This ummah has been headless. We are so proud to say 2 billion, 3 billion. Who cares? We are useless, worthless, because our blood has become under the shoes of the kafirs. Our women and our children has been massacred continuously for over 100 years. We can do nothing. Yet, we have so much money, we can buy a plane, and the only thing that is in this plane is a solid gold throne that one sits on. Yes? Now say that we don't deserve to be smacked. Long time ago we deserve. We are not kafirs, we are Muslims. We're supposed to have better understanding, better things to do, but we don't know. We're not doing it. Those who know, they're not teaching this. So we don't have that system to support that. But you have to have a head for that system to work. Everyone here that you're doing, whatever you're doing, you're taking care of each other, you're cooking, if there is no authority to say, fall back, step up, be quiet, speak up, slow down this, if there's no authority to do that, it's finished. It's done. Because everyone is going to go according to their own ego. I don't like this one said something to me, this one did something to my child, this one is a... It's finished, it's cracked, it's finished, because this is human nature also. Now, for that kind of a thing to work, you have to have divine support. Yes, especially in these days. So now, to take care of people for years and years and years, this system does not support that. You can't even take care of your kids. The kids, if you take care of them in this way, in the system, after a while they say, I hate you, Dad. I'm going to do my own thing. And they do. So you cannot have that now. But if you have people that you are taking care of, then they trust you, you trust them, because you spend a long time now. Those ones, they were still worshipping idols, but Prophet ﷺ, for 40 years, he never told them, don't worship. He never told them that. He never said, this is kufr, this is shirk. He never did that. The Kaaba fell down, yes, from the flood. Hajar Aswad, they had to take it out, putting it back in, put it back. Understand, they're putting everything, they're rebuilding the Kaaba for what? For Allah? No, to put idols again. Did the Prophet say anything? He didn't. And he was the one who gave the idea every tribe should grab one piece from the cloth that is holding the Hajar Aswad, so everyone gets the honor And he himself, he put it back. Now this requires wisdom. That's why people become, they give dawah, they give dawah, they give dawah. Nothing is changing from the heart. This is one of the things that we have to do, to speak to people, for those who wants to listen, they're coming, to wake them up a little bit. That is our job. Whether something happens, it doesn't happen, it doesn't matter. Our job, this is sunnah. As I explained to you, sunnah of the Prophet is spending 40 years before he actually says something. And for 13 years of that, 13 years in Mecca, 13 years, they suffered. 13 years they suffered. How much did we suffer to bring the truth to people? So that sunnah, we must try to do that like that. And it is sunnah now to just say to them, as Allah is cooling down His Prophet ﷺ, saying, your job is only to say to them. You're not an authority over them. Because he was so worried, because he understands if they don't listen, they're going to end up in hell. He says, it's not. Don't worry about them. If it's up to the Prophet, he's going to save his whole ummah. But didn't you listen to that hadith? Allah is going to say, but you don't know what they did. He was going to give intercession for them too. But he says, you don't know what they did after you left. Of course, did the Prophet not know? Of course he knows. Of course he knows. We're not going to know a prophet, we're not going to believe in a prophet who doesn't know. But that is showing now where the Prophet's heart and love is, and that is now showing what is the justice of Allah. So, yes, it's getting less and less. Now we're feeling as the prophets they felt. 124,000 prophets they came. And on the day of judgment, there'll be 124,000 prophets, and behind them will be their nation, lined up in lines, in saf. Everything with a flag. Shaykh Efendi, Shaykh Maulana saying, there will be so many prophets that they will not have one single person behind them, following them. Not one. Nobody listen. Look at Isa alayhi salam, Ruhullah. How many people listened to him? 12. 12. Nuh alayhi salam, the second Adam. How many people in that ship? 73. So many times, it's only a handful. And Shaykh Effendi is saying, there are so many prophets, not even one single follower behind them. Not one. And yet, there are so many, there will be in the nation of the Prophet ﷺ, not the prophets, but his awliya, the saints, the walis, the shaykhs. They will have so many behind them. One of them is our Shaykh and our grand Shaykh. Alhamdulillah. So, how you reach out to the hearts of the people, this is the thing. That's why Tariqat is different from Shariat. That's why Tasawwuf is different from Ilm. Ilm doesn't try to hook your heart. Ilm only tells you, this is this and this is that. Read a book, listen to my lecture. They don't try to go to your heart. But Tasawwuf, the awliya Allah, like the prophets, they spend time with them, studying them, understanding them, what moves them. And then he speaks. Then that time he speaks, he spends time. They listen, they listen. They don't listen, they don't listen. You understand? So now, if it is your, don't worry, no one is listening to you. You do your job. Then maybe you're trying that, maybe they say, okay, you did this. It's not about you failing. Huh? It's about you doing your job. Doing it. You fail or success, that depends on Allah. You're truly trying, sincerely. And they say, because he did that job, we can give him another job. And another job. and another work for the sake of Allah. Now, it doesn't matter the earlier job that you have just to speak to people. There's bigger things that you can do, that is for you to do. Huh? Is it so difficult to wake people up about the Khilafat? Really, is it so difficult? Especially in these days of Instagram and TikTok. Huh? Is it so difficult? No, it's not. People are like sheep or worse. They can easily be swayed. 1 minute like this, another minute like this, another minute like this. Yes? Oh, this is viral. The word themselves they use, this is not good. It's viral. It's like a virus. It's easy. Why are they not doing it? Question mark. Why are they not doing it? Those who have the power, those who have the authority, those who have the money and the resources, why are they not doing it? It's so easy. So easy. They don't want to do it because shaitan says don't do it. And those ones, they look like complete Muslims, but they've already been bought by shaitan. They made a, what is it called? Cartoon, Japanese cartoon, what is it called? Huh? Animal? Animal. Was it something? Huh? Manga. They made one about the year of the elephant. Did you know? About the attack of Abraha to the Kaaba. They made one. It's very high budget, very popular. A lot of people are watching it. Not one mention of the word of Islam in that whole thing. And it centers on the, let's say, the plan, the narrative, the storyline, how you have to have one character, you have to this, all taken from Hollywood, from Kafir way. We have our own stories. So they put this imaginary person too. It's not even someone who is there, who exists. The protagonist is imaginary. But a lot of people, thousands, maybe millions of our Muslims who are so deprived of representation, they're going to run after it and watch it. Our young kids are going to love it because they're watching all this kafir Japanese animal. Now they're going to run to watch that too. But what information they're giving, what knowledge they're giving, not Islam. Looks like it's Islamic, but it's not Islam. The only one, let's say, now we're talking about media. We may say, oh, once upon a time the media was controlled. Everyone is saying that, right? Media is controlled, state-controlled media controlled. What happened now? What kind of media we have now? Social media. Anyone can make your own movie. Anyone can, then why? Why nothing is coming out? The one good movie, let's say, as a media about Islam, and that was made in the 70s, 50 years ago. There was a message. Muslims, what were they doing for 50 years? They had no talent, no money, no nothing, no direction. No. They said, don't do that. Don't wake the people up to the truth. No. So it's not difficult to make people to understand about Khilafat, for instance. But there is a plan that shaitan says, do not. It is forbidden now to talk. In so many Muslim countries, it's forbidden to talk. In so many Muslim countries, it's forbidden to talk like this, correct or no? If you gather together, especially if you're not state sanctioned, you don't get your license from the state, Muslims gathering together, 5 minutes later, the police is going to come and arrest you. Why? COVID. No gathering. The bars are open. The restaurants are open. You're partying, everyone is going. But when it comes to the work of Allah, and they shut everything down. Don't you understand? You're cutting off all the rahmat and the barakat that is coming. So, doesn't matter. If it is for you, there'll be people who are going to understand and they want to know more. Those ones we're going to go to. Those who are not going to listen, we have no interest, we're not going to them. So, inshallah Rahman. Allah will ask us, especially in this country. It's 300 million, no? In this country. Who did you bring to Islam? Who did you speak to? So try. Try in the way of sunnah. You being good to your neighbors, showing them the beauty of Islam and the beauty of sunnah is a bigger dawah than knocking on their door, opening Quran and starting preaching to them. Inshallah. ومن الله التوفيق الفاتحة. آمين. تمام. السلام عليكم.